Well, that was interesting. Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm great, Kelly. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm coughing up a lung, and we're Colleenless, which is a strange state of affairs on this early April. Did you have a good April Fool's?
Sure. I mean, it's a day. I do like all the memes floating around about it being the one day that people actually do their own research when they see crazy news articles online. Wish every day could be like that, but
Not necessarily going to happen.
Yeah.
A couple things. It was an interesting weekend, and I have a nephew who's born on April 2nd, and my sister was terrified that he was going to end up on the 1st, but he didn't. But actually, it would have been kind of an appropriate day for him. So tell me, like, what's going on, Fantasy Gifts? I know now you guys are, shifting out of kind of holiday mode and into full on summertime.
We are, and which doesn't lead for super exciting updates, unfortunately.
Really?
We're discontinuing a lot of stuff, moving it around to make room for new stuff that we're going to try to bring in. Liz is actually at the big ILS lingerie show in Vegas currently.
Oh, fun.
So I'm thinking within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have all kinds of fun new lingerie rolling through the warehouse.
Cool.
That's about it. Playing catch up. Still, really.
I think it would be so absolutely unbelievably overwhelming to go to any of the shows that you guys have to go to and try to figure out what to buy.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, really.
And how do you even evolve? You've been running how long have you been running Fantasy Gift stores now, Megan? You've been out there for quite a while.
Yeah. Decade with the company about, I think, 6 years maybe as a manager.
Okay. So even to hear you say that you would have a hard time trying to figure out what to buy freaks me completely out. It's got to be some weird little skill set. Don't you think?
I think it does. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm sure Tara's really good at it. And it's a lot of just trying to figure out, does this serve a need that we don't already have filled? And honestly, is this practical enough? And is this within the price range? That's the big thing, is that we really try to have such a wide range. You can get a $9 toy and a $190 toy and everything in between. So trying to make sure we can get the best in all those ranges too has been a big, it's difficult, but it's a important mission that we're willing to undertake for you guys.
You guys are doing God's work.
We are.
At Fantasy Gifts. I'm serious.
I have few people that'll come into the store and mention, talk about being Christian or something like that. I have one full timer who I love her response as always, hey, if God didn't want you to touch the buttons, he wouldn't have given you the buttons.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's awesome. And how is that generally received?
Actually, quite well, usually with a laugh. I mean, they're already in the store, so they're...
That's true.
And I'm ready to take that leap,
And they're kind of trying to confess a little bit.
Right.
Which is funny. Oh my God. Hey, starting out, I found something. This is going to make some great visuals. And I know that you do all the work for the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And there's this photo shoot, and oh my God, it was done over in Europe, and it's burlesque, it's pole dancing, it's dominatrix, it's all these people, and they stop the shots before anything gets pornographic, but they're all in their own elements. And there are some amazing pictures to be seen. And I think the burlesque one is one of my favorites. But then the dominatrix one is cool. I mean, there's just this really cool photo shoot. So watch for that on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page, and I don't know if you can do this, but when we get a link like that, is there any way that we can feature the individual pictures, or do people just have to transport themselves to go see the rest of it?
You do. As far as I know, it generally picks whatever article has set up kind of as the thumbnail is what pops up.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And if you hear honking in the background, that's me. I'm just, my lungs are trying to escape, and I'll do everything I can to keep them from doing so. But yeah, this is it's just so cool. And there's lap dancers, there's just everything. And this was the work, but just so you know, if you want to Google this person to see more, London-based photographer Julia Fullerton Batten. And it's just cool. And it's honestly, it's so artistic. You're not even thinking about the sex side of it. It's so pretty.
it's always very awesome to see, human bodies in motion and capture that,
Oh, and this is very, very captivating. So are you a football fan? I know Colleen is not.
No.
You don't like it at all. Okay. So the Oakland Raiders are moving to Las Vegas. Have you heard that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, and this cracks me up because I'm from California and we've seen, all of this stuff, these teams up and down the state, Oakland's in LA and, the Rams went to St. Louis. Now the Rams are back and blah, blah. San Diego's now in LA. I mean, it's just insane. And, but, they've never wanted to put, and this cracks me up, they've never wanted to put an NFL team in Vegas because of the gambling. Hello.
Right. And I would think the legal prostitution.
Well, but here's the problem. They gamble on NFL games there anyway. So for the team to be there, really, it makes no difference. And they finally got over themselves. So there's something funny about this. The guy that owns the Bunny Ranch, actually he owns 6 legal brothels in Nevada. His name's Dennis Hoff. He's going to open a 7th one with, yes, a Raiders theme. It's going to be called Pirates Booty. It's scheduled to open in 2020, which is about the time the Raiders will move into their new stadium. And they are going to give basically free admission to any Raiders fan if they win the Super Bowl that year.
Oh,
so
nice.
Well, but I mean, what
team?
As if, NFL players, I just don't see the problem. I mean, with just putting it in Vegas and, even with all the other, temptations around there, this stuff happens anyway.
It's true. I mean, you said Raiders, and all I thought is oh, isn't that the team full of rapists? Honestly, that's all NFL to me is domestic abuse and sexual assault.
I know.
And concussions.
That's
what I get out of when I think of the NFL.
Yeah.
So
the NBA is right up there.
Right.
NBA
right.
is a much
professional
better
sports. There's a lot of problems there.
I think honestly though, I mean, in my career in sports, what I noticed, the nicest guys, even though they play the dirtiest, are hockey players.
Oh yeah,
professional hockey players.
You don't hear a lot of stories about them.
They keep their noses clean, and every time I ever had to deal with them, either in a locker room setting or even in an interview, they were polite. They were amazing. So,
which is shocking because they were the worst of the jocks in high school, at least
for you.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well,
arrogant or what?
No, mean. I mean, not surprising. I guess, well, Kelly, you know what I look like. Not shocking, I was an alternative youth in high school.
Yes.
That may have, of course, gotten bullied. Luckily, our high school was big enough that, there's 50 other freaks, so at least you're with a large group of freaks. You're not the only one.
Sure.
But yeah, as far as just straight up being harassed in the halls is always the hockey players, and they smelled so bad.
Oh, they do smell bad.
Oh my
God. Can I just tell you? I mean, my sister had 3 boys that all played. You could not go down in her basement until they all were well out of college. It took her that many years, that much sage, that much Febreze, and that's bad stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're probably too young for this. But anybody like Perry LaPree, friend of the show, and Mr. Camp Hardwood and all of that, he were here. And Colleen would definitely know who this is. Roman Polanski.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm a kind of film nerd, so
okay, that's true.
I just saw North by Northwest in a movie theater this week.
Did you? What did you think?
Oh, I've seen it many times actually.
Isn't it amazing?
I love Hitchcock. Actually, I went with my boyfriend, and he didn't really enjoy it, which was kind of surprising. But
really,
it does. Out of a lot of the Hitchcock films, it certainly has the most issues. I think aging well. Mm-hmm. I'll give him that. Cary Grant is now, he was like, Cary Grant's all doughy and he's got a dad bod, and how is he he's not a sex symbol. He's pretending to be some hot leading man. I'm like,
He was.
That is Cary fucking Grant. Are you kidding me? Like, he's the epitome of suave, sexy leading man.
That is so funny.
But anyways, yes. Well, speaking of sexual assault, let's move on to
Roman Polanski. See, I didn't know that if you were, I knew you were going to be here. It was just going to be the two of us today, and I didn't know if you were going to remember this. But I mean, this is a big deal, and he was charged with 6 felonies back in 1977. And just to refresh the story for everybody, he was accused of giving a 13-year-old girl champagne, getting her drunk, and part of a sedative pill, and raping her at. Do you remember this part of the story?
Jack Nicholson's
house. And
it was wild times back then.
Oh my God.
All those actors in the 70s.
Oh, and I have oh my God, I have a Burt story. Okay, so don't let me forget my Burt story here. No, okay, so he fled. He fled the city of Los Angeles on the eve of his sentencing back in 1978. And we're talking 40 freaking years. This guy has been on the lam, okay? And he's been trying to, this line just pisses me off to no end, resolve the case several times without personally appearing in court. Oh, you mean get out of the trouble that you're in?
Right.
Buy your way out of a situation? Now, the girl has said she wants the case to end, which, you know, I get it. She probably doesn't want to be asked about it anymore or whatever, but this guy was never punished. Listen to this line. His travel has been confined to 3 countries, France, Switzerland, and Poland. Poor baby.
Oh, yeah. It must be rough.
Yeah. I mean, I would have rather seen him confined to like 10 by 10, you know, personally all this time, but he's been off jet setting and everything else. So anyway, they are, you know, sitting there saying that he has not presented sufficient, credible, admissible evidence to get any relief. So a judge has rejected this argument that he's been pushing for all these years. So nothing's really going to change at this point. But the fact that 40 years later, that privileged guy is still really unpunished for this is unbelievable. And I'm really glad that the judge didn't just say, oh my gosh, it was so long ago. I'd like to think that the increased awareness and all of the you know, sensitivity and everything else that has crept its way into society that certainly didn't exist in the 70s has had something to do with that. What do you think?
I would think definitely. I mean, the idea dropping these charges would certainly be a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
Especially even just in the acting industry, people are trying at least to hold artists a little more accountable. But then, I mean, that's kind of a crapshoot too, because you think of Casey Affleck, who had 2 women accuse him of sexual harassment, I guess it would be, and he just won an Oscar. You know, so I don't know. I mean, it's changed, but I guess not enough. I mean, couldn't they try to force extradition if they really wanted to, you know, get him here in the States?
I would, yeah. Like, why hasn't he been? And you know, that's one other case of the privileged getting away with, you know, sexual assault in this case, but murder in others. So yeah, it's just really a disgusting thing. And the fact that this man has lived his, you know, jet set life confined to 3 countries for 40 years is to me absolutely appalling. Okay, Burt Reynolds, I gotta tell you, this is so funny. So everybody, and I'm assuming even you too, has seen the infamous Burt Reynolds Cosmopolitan Centerfold from the 70s, right?
Yes.
And okay, so I don't know actually how this came up, but I was at one of my big clients' offices a couple weeks ago. And there are a bunch of millennials that I deal with. I work among different divisions, and the millennials crack me up. And they're like, hey, Kelly, do you want to see something funny? And okay, there was a perfect cutout of the centerfold. Okay, I mean, like precision cut. All right, stuck to this guy's desk and adhesed to this guy's desk, like right to where, you know, like if you pull up to your desk where your keyboard would be.
Right.
So I mean, it's like he cannot not see this. Okay, you can't unsee it, and you can't not see it. Apparently, he had run afoul of one of the tech heads in the back, and these are developers and programmers. Okay, so these are not the dudes you want to fuck with. These are not just regular IT guys. These are ones on steroids. And the joke back was to print out Burt, make a sticker, and permanently affix him to this guy's desk as punishment. So he's got like a sticky over the business end of Bert. And I'm looking at this just dying laughing. And I'm realizing that these people that think this is funny weren't alive when this probably was printed originally.
Right.
You know? So then we started breaking it down. And I'm like, wow, look at the cigarillo hanging out of his mouth. Not cute. Oh, look, how much of that hair probably crawls all the way back down his back. Too bad it wouldn't grow out of his head. You know, I mean, look at the rug. I mean, we were just absolutely peeing our pants.
He's